A warm welcome to you. I'm Esther Gishuki, and this is Agri News. The government of Kenya recently identified unpredictable weather patterns, expensive feeds and supplements for dairy cows as the major stumbling blocks to the dairy farming sector. According to the Ministry of Agriculture, the dairy industry supports more than 2 million informal farmers who must grapple with these challenges, coupled with iniquity among players.
Unpredictable weather patterns, expensive feeds and supplements for dairy cattle have been identified as some of the major setbacks affecting dairy farming in the country. Philip Cherono, the director in charge of regulatory services at the Kenya Dairy Board, cites how climate change has impacted directly on milk production.
These changes in climate has done us a lot of harm to our food production systems, including dairy. Dairy requires a lot of animal feed, pasture, and many other types of feed where we make the source of our concentrates. So it has really affected, like last year alone, 2018, we had a very severe drought, which lasted for so long. And milk production dropped so much. It dropped so much to an extent that we had a deficit in milk production. We considering what we were expecting last year, the volumes were much below our targets, and it's because of animal feed.
One of the ways of dealing with unpredictable weather patterns that Cherono revealed is by growing trees and conserving our environment.
So what we are now urging our people is we really have to consider that environmental protection, which is, or anything else that is going to bring about climatic change. We really need to be very much aware. And all Kenyans need to be sensitized so that we take measures to avert these serious climatic changes, including now improving our environment, reforestation programs, preventing erosions, and preventing emissions, the vehicles that we are driving, the machineries, the industries. We need to prevent them, and even the animals that we rear, we need to feed them in such a way that they will not be emitting a lot of gases. You know, cows also emit a lot of gases in terms of methane, which is one of the things that will affect the ozone layer.
Another secret that Cherono shares is by reducing the number of cattle heads and creating more space to plant animal feeds.
Another thing again which the global community has come up with is we do not need to have so many cows. Instead of having 4 million cows the way we have right now and producing 5 billion liters, possibly we can have less than a million cows. And we have actually, scientifically, we have been able to demonstrate that we can rear less than 1 million cows and produce even more than 10 billion. We can double the current milk production by way of reducing the number of cows. And when we reduce the number of cows to less than 1 million and increase the volume of milk, we are also reducing the gas emissions from the dairy industry. The other thing again is the cows, you know, the manure also has a lot of methane, a lot of gases. We need to, we want to urge our dairy farmers to manage that manure properly. Of course, it is a very valuable product, so it has to be, we need to keep it, we need to encourage our people to digest. We need to have biodigesters so that even the gas that is produced can be used to support our industry, and in the process lower the cost of production. We can use it for heating or even lighting. So these are some of the things that we really need to put in place. And I think many organizations, including Kenya Dairy Board now, are engaged. Part of our strategies is to educate our clients, our farmers, on how to deal with some of these situations.
As Africa looks to reap economic growth from its scenic oceans and lakes, Kilifi County is making headways, not just by consuming but growing seafood. A Kenyan of British origin in Magarini has set up the first crab hatchery and outgrower farm at the remote Sheshale Nyangomeni, which is estimated to be one of the largest blue economy projects in East Africa.
Kilifi County in Kenya is making headways by not just consuming but growing seafood. A Kenyan of British origin in Magarini has set up the first crab hatchery and an outgrower farm at the remote Sheshale Nyangomeni, which will probably be one of the largest blue economy projects in East Africa. Justin Anya, the owner of Sheshale Mud Crab Farm, also owns a renowned famous Sheshale resort. He started the crab farm in 2013 to support the demand of crabs to the tourist hotels.
Mimi nilianza kufuga kaa kama miaka 7 nyuma na ilijitokea tu, sikutarajia kufanya hii kazi. Na imejitokea sababu nina restaurant na saa yote ninakuwa nanunua kaa kutoka wavuvi, tunaweka kwa makikapu na kila siku tunamwagia maji wasikufe wabaki hai. Lakini ukienda pale leo unafungua unapata moja imekufa hapa, nyingine hivi na huwezi serve kaa ambapo imekufa. Nikaenda Thailand kuangalia sababu nilijua pale wanafanya mambo kufunga kaa. Nikaenda kuangalia. Nikasema wacha mimi naye nianze. Nikanunua vifaa kidogo hizi maboksi nikaleta Kenya. Na nikaanza sababu ya restaurant tu. Lakini mwisho nikakuja kujua hapa Kenya hakuna crab farming. Nikajua demand ya crab ni nyingi. Baadaye ikakuja county yetu na fisheries department, wakakuja kuongea na mimi, tukaamua sote wacha tujaribu kufufua kaa hapa Kenya.
Justin started out with the idea of hatching and selling the crabs to a local community and later buying them at a maturity stage for export.
Ile najaribu kuset up mimi ndio niwe na outgrow farmers. Mimi nawafuatilia na chunga wanafanya kazi yao vizuri, kulisha vizuri na watoa product mzuri. Mwisho mimi ni buyer. Mimi nimewa supply na crablets, mimi nakuja mwisho kwa mali mzuri, mimi nakuja nunua yote. Kama nimenunua yote, unakuja unanunua crablets yako ndogo tena, unaendelea naye na mimi nakuja. So mambo ya market for local people si shida kabisa. So hata hapa Kenya coast tuna mahoteli nyingi, tuna mahali nyingi sana tunaweza uza kaa.
There are two kinds of crabs, meaty and water crabs. Justin elaborates the difference between them.
This at the moment is a meaty crab. Now a water crab basically is once the crab has molted, made his shell bigger, okay? And he has a lot of water inside. Then that's a water crab. Now that crab is not ready for market. That crab, you need to put him in a box and feed him until he is full of meat. You can tell when he's full of meat by simply squeezing here. If you squeeze this area here and it is slightly soft, the crab is not ready. If it is nice and hard, he's ready. Another way to look is by looking at the claws, this one tooth here, okay? If this is more worn down and smaller, it means the crab has been breaking shells and eating and all this kind of thing. So their mouth basically is a chopping machine. So they will pick up the food with their claw, bring it to their mouth, okay, and break it into pieces and just swallow.
When the crabs are in the boxes, they are fed once a day.
And then the crab is fed daily inside here. You can feed them trash fish, so little pieces of fish. You can feed them, okay, directly into the box. You can feed them intestines, you can feed them snails, you can feed crab lots of things. But the important thing is always try to feed the crabs what they eat naturally. In this way, you will get a good product.
As Justin encourages crab farming to farmers in the coastal region, he highlights on some of the considerations that one must put in mind.
Security, 1, and 2, you must be present every day to feed your crab. And also you need to check the boxes at least twice a day. The reason being is because if the crab is full and there's waste food left over, this food can contaminate the water. So the best thing is to take this food out. Now, remember, you do have tilapia inside there. So you can actually then break the food up even more and put it in the water, and the tilapia, in theory, should eat it. And this will help control your ecosystem within your pond.
If you want to become an outgrower crab farmer, well, you can visit Sheshali Farm in Malindi.
Now wants the government to intervene in providing solutions to the current drought being witnessed in most parts of the northeastern Kenya. A number of pastoralists have moved from their homes in search of pasture and water for their families and livestock. They say the solution as it is currently should be a worry to the National Census Planning Committee, and the leaders fear their people will not be part of the national process.
So we are really concerned that something has to be done, and a number of counties are already in alarm and emergency state. Wajir, Isiolo, Baringo, Garissa, Marsabit, West Pokot, to Samburu, and others also. So we are concerned, and we want to appeal to the government to intervene, so in provision of water and even food for our people, for the young, for the elderly.
As we speak here today, some of the people in northern Kenya have either crossed to Somalia, they have crossed to Ethiopia, some have crossed to South Sudan in looking for pasture and water. So the Director General of Kenya National Bureau of Statistics must tell us and tell the country what deliberate attempt is he making to address the unique situation in northern Kenya as a result of the drought when conducting the next census.
I think as a country, we really need to prepare for drought, because we cannot have a knee-jerk reaction whenever we have drought. And this is a matter that as a country we really need to take serious. We need to respond early enough because this happens every year.
Public Prosecution Frederick Ashimosi has told the Anti-Corruption and Economic Crimes Division of the High Court that he has sufficient evidence against 6 accused persons implicated in the 2.3 billion shillings Miwani Sugar Limited land grab scandal.
While formally submitting his appeal before Justice Mumbi Ngugi, the lead prosecutor repeatedly faulted Kisumu Chief Magistrate Julius Ngarngar's ruling on 20th May 2019, which acquitted 6 of the 9 accused persons, including Kibo's Sugar Chairman Sakwinda Singh Shati, for lack of sufficient evidence against the 6. However, the Office of the Director of Public Prosecutions argued that there is enough evidence demonstrating how the accused persons allegedly conspired to defraud the state through fraudulent disposal of public property, fraudulent acquisition of public property, and using forgery. The Assistant DPP also told the court that the prosecution has enough evidence to prove that the ownership of the over 9.3 thousand acres legally belongs to Miwani Sugar Limited Company. Justice Mumbi Ngugi will deliver her judgment on the appeal on the 24th of September this year.
Page 1 to 3 and a certified copy and relates to the same property, same conspiracies to defraud. So, but it is either that the learned magistrate would have found all the accused persons had a case to answer.
2 to 5 times as much carbon as other forests, hence reducing impacts of carbon emissions and global warming. Mangroves are only found on tropical shores and are also touted as the best solution to tsunamis and rising sea levels. But are we planting enough of them? KTN News reporter Magna Maswa returns from Vanga in Kwale County with the following report.
From the air, large swaths of mangrove forests welcome you to Vanga in Kwale County. This is the first line of defense in case things go south in the Indian Ocean and a tsunami boils over from the ocean floor. 26th July is the World Mangroves Conservation Day. On this fine day, residents of Vanga embark on planting some 1,500 mangrove seedlings. Jalala Mtwala, a resident, has joined in the exercise.
Tunapata dawa kutokana na mikoko na pia vile mikoko inazuia mmomonyoko wa udongo.
Kenya Forest Service officials, those from the Worldwide Fund for Nature, among others, are here on a mission.
The plan for this area, which is around 4,400 hectares, has been developed. It brings together 3 community entities into one, called Vajiki Community Forest Association. And therefore today I come here, representing the Kenya Forest Service, to sign the forest management agreement, which then give the forest communities around this area a legal basis on how we can be able to engage together in co-management and also for them to draw benefit as per the management plan.
The mangrove is touted as a big carbon sink capable of absorbing 3 to 5 times as much carbon emissions as conventional forests. Mangroves locally exist in about 9 varieties, but they all thrive in saline, swampy coastal environments. The forest in the area is hardly enough amidst growing carbon emissions across the world.
When you see a mangrove like this growing, you can dig 4 meters deep. You'll still be getting the organic carbon, and that's a stored carbon.
Locals in their community forest associations earn carbon credits, meaning they get paid by the biggest carbon emitters such as airlines and industrialized nations to plant mangroves on their behalf, though currently it doesn't amount to much.
For many residents of coastal areas such as here in Vanga, conservation of mangrove forests is not just for aesthetic purposes. These are actual breeding zones for fish.
Uchumi wetu sisi kama wakazi wa Vanga tunategemea uvuvi, na ndiposa kuwepo kwa msitu huu unatusaidia kwa hali hizi za kuendeleza maisha yetu na kipato cha samaki kupatikana kwa wingi.
The war against deforestation is far from over, but along Kenya's south coast, residents are thankful for what little they can do.
Our experience in the last 11 years of working with communities is that communities have the awareness of conserving the forest, and in this case the mangroves, because they have learned that these forests are theirs.
Ilipokuja tokea tsunami ni kwamba sisi tulinusurika kutokana na mikoko. Ile tsunami lile vimbi ambavyo kwamba ilikuwa linakuja basi ilikuwa linazimwa nguvu sana ni mikoko.
With figures indicating that the world has since the 1980s lost close to 40% of mangroves, it is a battle starting from the shores to the ozone layer in the skies.
Veterinary authorities will cull 30,000 pigs after detecting an outbreak of African swine fever at a breeding farm in northern Bulgaria. This is the 3rd industrial farm to be hit by the fast-spreading deadly virus this year. The European Union member country has so far detected more than 20 outbreaks of the African swine fever at industrial or backyard farms in the northern part of the country.
Experts say Bulgaria could lose its entire pig breeding industry and have its 500,000 pigs culled due to the highly contagious disease that does not, however, affect humans. The country has declared a state of emergency in 2 other districts upon the detections of another African swine fever outbreak at a large breeding farm near the northeastern city of Rus. The state of emergency will take place until July 31st, but the offices of the 2 district governors said it may have to be extended. Military and police forces have been mobilized to combat the deadly disease and protect its pig breeding industry. Some of the preventative measures include enhancing traffic control at border points, disinfecting farms, and restricting sale of pork and processed meat.
This segment of Sauti ya Mkulima, we feature beef farmers in Kajiado County who share some of the challenges affecting their beef market.
Climate change has really affected us in many ways. For example, in March and May, we were supposed to experience the long rains, which really, they were short. And looking at the hay that I have in store, it's not enough. And the paddocks also will not last long until the short rains in October. So mostly when what we do, we have relatives or clans somewhere else in the county. Like a while back, we had to travel all to Sultan, where we had a few heads of cattle there, like 50. Normally, as a Maasai community, we are communal. So you just go there, explain the situation here, tell them to give you a small space for such animals, and you take them there. It's a long distance, but it is worth it. Yeah.
Napata si kila wakati unaenda unauza ng'ombe. Lazima kuna time yenye kusema unauza, unachagua unaziuza. Juu market kuna wakati market ni mzuri na kuna pia wakati market mbaya. Juu kuna zile ng'ombe za Tanzania zinakuja kuingia hapa Kenya. Zinaleta nini mbaya kutoka nchi yetu ya Kenya. Najua kitu ya kwanza lazima uangalie mambo ya breeding inachukua time. Na kitambo kabla ukuje upate ile breed unataka, lazima utapitia vitu mingi. Lazima utaenda uende utembee uone hii ni dume mzuri yenye itabadilisha ng'ombe yako. Kwa hivyo lazima uende utafute dume mzuri yenye italingana na ng'ombe zako.
Kulingana na ile experience yangu ambayo niko nayo hapa, kitu ya kwanza ni mtu ukiwa unataka kuanzisha mambo ya ufugaji yoyote Kenya hii, kitu cha kwanza lazima ukue na maji. Kitu ya pili lazima ukue na feeds za kutosha. Either shamba ama ukiwa unajua njia tu ya kutoa ili upate nyasi ya kutosha kwa wakulima. Pia ukiwa ule mkulima ambaye unataka kuanzisha hiyo kazi, lazima uhakikishe ya kwamba umefanya disease control kwa shamba yako na kila kitu yako itakuwa nzuri.
Now let's look at how different agricultural commodities are performing in different markets across the country. That's all we had for you today on Agri News. I'm Esther Gishuki. Until next time, goodbye.